What's up, guys? Dope Randy back at it again with the 7th race of the season. The KC Masterpiece 400 live from Kansas Speedway in the home of Dorothy country in the great state of Kansas. Last time in the Sofa Racing League, we had the second Crown Jewel race of the second of 5 throughout the season, and it went okay. I kind of promised that over my dead body that Spank wouldn't win for the 4th season in a row, and sadly mistaken. Well, I was sadly mistaken, as I just didn't have the speed. And in addition, I got caught up in a couple of accidents. If y'all recall, in stage 1, I just lost talent and lost focus, I guess, and just did myself in by hitting the wall coming off the S's like an idiot, or coming into the S's like an idiot. In stage 2, Spank kind of put me in a bad spot in the carousel and went for a spin. In stage 3, everything went, I guess, okay. I got second, trying to save gas, but was 1 lap short and got to take a half a can and salvaged a P2 out of it to Spank. Did lose the points lead, however, which sucked, but it's only 3 points. So, and of course the top 2 have me and Major have an incredible gap over everybody else, which is going to take some Herculean effort to get back. So, enough about that. Let's move on into the present. As you can see in qualifying, as we're about to have all hell break loose, Short just hits the fence, loses talent, comes down onto me, and then the whole field behind me just stacks up for no apparent reason, as we have someone flipping in turn 1. I don't know if y'all saw that, but whoever that was, rip. But it's only qualifying. I hope this doesn't happen for the race. But that was a crazy lap 1. And then Major gets put in the grass by unknown person in the top 6, which kills his lap, basically. But after all that craziness, can everyone just calm down? But like I said, we were all at Kansas, and I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. Kansas is not really my forte when it comes to tracks that I do well on, because as you can see, the majority of the people is either going to the top, which is the preferred line, or the middle. And if y'all been watching me long enough, you will know that I hate the top with a passion, and the only lines you have to run the top at is at Bristol, and I don't even do that right. I do a diamond. I do the diamond at Bristol, aka the fee cut. So, running the top is going to suck. As you can see in qualifying, I'm not really doing the bottom. I'm not really doing the top. I'm doing low, middle, and then just gradually walking to the top, but that's not going to cut it, as I'm going to get a 30.972 for the Q session. And we had chaos for lap 1, 2, and 3 behind me. So, but I really wasn't looking too forward to this race, because I'm not really that good here. Just hoping to get a good top 5, top 10, maybe a top 5, and get the heck out of here and go to Darlington and stuff like that, which I feel more excited about. As we wait for the results to pop up, always a reminder, if you like what you see, hit the thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand spanking new. Or if you just want to see more of this, and comment down below, way down below, as you can interact with me and have a good jolly time. So as you can see, we qualified 13th out of 20. And I'm just going to be honest, that is pretty bad. Just pretty bad. As we're going to have 22 drivers in this race, and I'm starting technically in the back half of the field. And to make it even worse, I am in the danger zone. The all important and dreadful danger zone, which just gets my hopes up if you can't tell already. Plus my inability to go fast. I mean, the only positive about this situation is I get the bottom line, which seems to be the only line I like around this godforsaken track. And it is a night race, so all of us can pop out and be unique with our own colorful and distinct paint schemes, as we get to see the 1.5 miles known as Kansas. In the middle of the heartland, they should have taken this with them. Dorothy should have taken this track with them. But I don't know what I was talking about. As we are going to go live, and it is on. Race 7 is live. So, I'm not really, I want to get up there, but I don't really want to press issues, because as we already going 3 wide. And I'm going to get around Mega. And I think Bristol got into Mega, so I'm up to 11th already. And then we're going to be 5 wide at Kansas, which is highly not recommended. Hunty is in the fence. And then I see grass and all hell is breaking loose. And I got the hell away from all that, and I'm up to P7, which is just great. So a fairly successful lap 1, as the slowness is going to ensue, as Hunty's going to get around me. And then Racer, whoa. As Racer, I think he lagged one of the Xfinity guys who finished P3. Just lagged hard and decides to bow out in lap number 2 of the race. As Sharp now gets into the fence and loses talent. I'm going to take a nice P5, and as you can see, I'm gonna have to be forced to run this top line. But look at Major just fly around me like I'm standing in quicksand. I'm going to choose this middle line here. Just trying to get a feel as we're going 3. Nope. As T-Bone, Hunting, and Major is up in front of us. Spank is in second, and Mayo Coop. You may remember him from Charlotte. One of the Xfinity guys is somehow out in first and driving off into the Kansas night. As we got 15 laps to go. I'm still figuring out how to compete with these guys. As I'm in P7. Just trying to follow anyone with relevant speed. and I'm gonna have to be forced to run this top line. Now, as you can see, I am not, you know, I would rather set myself on fire and drink bleach than run the high side at any track, because it's just not my style. I grew up on a short track mentality of the low line is the best line, and T-Bone gets into the fence and loses talent, and that's the main reason, because if you hit the wall, you are going backwards, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean backwards. You have to have precise movement in your ability to drive and your ability to handle, and you gotta have the precise setup to make it work. As Dunn is trying to look under me for P5, and this is also a track I can use the block to practice my blocking skills. As I'm just going to get the run. And by the way, Racer is still back there in P7. My apologies to Racer Nation from the Xfinity Series, as Hunty decides to come down pit road. Yeah, you're going to see that the 1 and the 42 look identical. So if I mess that up, I apologize in advance. Because, you know, Chip Ganassi, he loves his McDonald's. But, I'm going to get under Team Hill for P3, but I then decide to come down pit road and try to get some spot and try to short pit by a lap or so, which does matter. And so, as I just plow into someone, and we're going to get a pretty good pit stop at a sit-sits and get out of there. But we are going to come out behind Dunn, which could be a problem. Could not be. We'll see how it goes. As there goes Hunty. He's going to get around us both, and here comes Shorp around as he hit the fence again. But he's got that speed, as I almost clip him and send him spinning into the turn 3 grass, which would have been terrible, as we only have 9 laps to go. So it's going to be a little sprint to the finish, as we're coming up upon T-Mills, and he's going to be doing an aggressive move, and I'm just going to go straight down, and he's going to have to run on the high side coming onto the front stretch, as we're coming 8 laps to go in stage 1. As I'm just going to try to drive it in there. But I can't do it with T-Mills' momentum. But he does hit the fence, and it allows me to pull ahead. And then I'm going to do a nice, beautiful slide job in turn 3 to get up in the P8. Insert Dale Jr.'s slide job reference in here for that position, as we are now up in the P7 as someone pitted. So I'm gaining a little confidence. Pulled a nice mean slide job on a guy who I think is really fast at this track. And so maybe I can do something here, as we're coming up on 6 laps to go in this stage. Maybe I can get up there. and challenge for a stage win. As I do see the leaders in my sight, which is Hunty, a Team Randy machine. And that would be great for us. A Team Randy affiliated piece winning stage 1. So we got 5 laps to go. And Team Mills is just going to duck below us here. And I'm going to get that run off the corner and say, heck no. But I'm going to hit the fence right here and stay locked onto said fence. And I'm going to lose that spot to Team Mills in a sad state of affair. And I don't know if I'm going to get that back because he's pretty much doing what I'm doing. As I'm going 3 wide for P2, which is highly not recommended. And for that reason, because Dunn, losing talent, does hit the fence. And I don't know why I decided to follow down on the low line as Team Mills. Woof. Does not see me, I hope, and just almost spins me and T-bone out. But we all keep it straight as we got 3 laps to go. But that does kill any and all momentum I had on that little group. But we're just going to be riding around. Hopefully they can get loose again. They are battling up there pretty nicely. As we got 2 laps to go. So I'm just trying to wheel this thing. As Spank pinches T-Mills down up and Spank gets loose as all heck. And then I'm kind of forced to be behind these two with nowhere to go. I really don't want to pass. As I see T-Bone right behind me, he's going to get in run if I do. As we got 1 lap in this stage, presented by Coca-Cola, hashtag cheap plug. And so here comes T-Bone from out of nowhere. But Dunn, as you see, hits the fence and loses talent. But he's going to come up into me. And then I come down into T-Bone. I mean, not T-Bone, T-Mills. Trying to avoid all that. And what could have been 5th decides to take an L. And go into 6th. And then someone dies. I think that's Hunty, who won the stage, decides to die. But, yeah. That's in P6 for stage 1. Just chilling. I consider that pretty okay. Like I figured that's where I would be. I know Major Spy probably should be up there. And Mayo Coop probably... He was winning stage 1. I don't know how he went back to a P11. Probably took a massive L. But as stage 2 starts, I'm just hoping and praying no one is stupid behind us. And as we all live, the stage 2, the inside gets a good run. T-Bone gets squirrely, and then that causes a checkup, and then oh my god. The big one happens. It started with Dunn in the 72, and holy crap, did you see how close the 72 came to us? That was close. Really, really close. As we go by T-Bone for P5. And now it's a 6. It's a 6-person breakaway at the top with pretty much the same guys from the top 6 from stage 2 surviving and thriving, as we got 15 laps to go. And now we're starting to leave T-Mon a little bit, as I'm just going to use the Team Randy muscle power to get around Sharp to get up into 4th place. And I'm going to use the momentum, and we're going to try to finish off this pass. And is he still down there? Yep. Have to do one more good turn. He's going to try to drive it, but it's not going to be enough. Or is it? No, he's making that work. But finally I need to have one more good turn, and it's going to be a finished pass. And the pass will be completed this time. And I'm in the 4th. And I'm getting a good run on Hunty for 3rd place. So everything's going great at the moment. I'm just settling in as Sharp comes back to pass us. Like, we're standing still on the high side, which just doesn't make sense at all. But it's whatever. I'm just gonna ride behind the 22 here. And by the way, if y'all noticed, he did change his number from the 43 to the 22. The reason is, I have no idea. Probably because he likes the 22 better than the 43. I don't know. But we're just gonna be chilling right here. T-Bone has not left us, so it's just a little spank us all out by himself for about a half a second. Then it's as T-Mills and Sharp come down pit road, and I almost just pound both of them, or pound Sharp, I'd say. But it's all good, as it's going to be Spank, Hunty, and me, and T-Bone is back there, but I decided to come down pit road this time by and do pretty much the exact same thing as I did back in stage Uno, and do 1 can and 2 tires. And we have a 7.9, which is okay. I'd say okay, as we are going to get out ahead of T-Bone. And you see the number 1 parked in its pit stall, as Rizzo is done for the day. Reasons to be determined. As you see, Bristol, who has not pitted, is going to get around us. But we ought to catch him pretty easily. And in a good ton of events, we beat Sharp out of the pits, which is lovely, because that means we're going to be up there in around P2 or so if we can just hold him off. And you see Major Spy, who got caught up in that Stage 2 dust-up, also has not pitted. And he is on a differing strat. But Sharp is just too good, as I'm just pretty much going to give him this spot. He's faster than us. There's no reason in holding him up. Even if it's just 7 to go, he was gonna find a way. As Mayo just takes an L and spins in the infield grass. Oh Lord, that's gonna be on the not top 10 highlight reel. As Bristolize gets into the fence and Hunty, if you see back there, just clobbles Bristol. Pretty much taking him out of a good finish for this stage. And so at the moment, now, looks like it's going to be me, Shorp. It's going to be the top 2 in this race. We got to wait on Spank to come down pit road. As we only have 5 laps to go. As people continue to pit, and here's the battle for the stage win. Potentially, as Sharp is going to get around Spank. But am I going to get to him? Nope. As I am just not. I am not where I need to be at the moment. As more people continue to pit. And there is the final one. And Major Spy as I get loose. But you can truly tell, like, I just do not have the raw speed that everyone else has. Which is kind of disappointing. I mean, I knew this was going to happen. Like I said, Kansas probably is my worst track in this game. Even though it's not that, I mean, you know what I mean. It's just the way you have to drive it. I hate it. I just don't have any good general speed. And the way you have to drive it sucks. As we're having a good battle for the lead and for 3rd place. As Sharp gets into the fence. And everyone's going to try passing him at the same time. And if I'm out of nowhere. And I mean from out of nowhere. T-Mills just decides to clobber us in the fence. And that's gonna. And that just killed T-Mills' stage 2. And so we're coming to 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Powerade, hashtag cheap plug. I don't think I'm gonna pass. I don't think I'm gonna pass these 2. I'm just not as good as them. I mean, they're just whooping us right now. As I do have a nose under the 42 of T-Bone, the proud owner of this league. He's just gonna get the run off. As Spank does win another stage, and we're gonna bring this home in 4th, which is okay. I'll take a 4th. Considering the circumstances. And so now we get to pit again. And I decided to do a little something different right here and make, as you notice, I was sliding a little bit towards the end of that. I decided to tighten it up and and add some tape onto it so we can have better drivability, and I can stay it on the gas longer than I was back in stage 2. But we do get a 4th and a 6th, and I'll take it. Considering the circumstances. Now these guys are probably going to beat us here. So the goal of the stage 3 is just to stay out of trouble and let the chips fall where they lay. That's the goal. As stage 3 is off and going, we got 25 laps of just good hard hard-nosed racing. And so I'm just going to chop down to the bottom of the track. Lose 2 spots, but it's all good. We're not sideways yet. As here comes Bristolize in the 95. And then here comes T-Mills as Major gets all loose. And that's going to hold T-Mills up. And then we have contact, and then T-Mills is around. And off. And there goes Bristol from a doink. And then I'm in the fence. Just off talent. And then Major gets contact with Sharp. And it's all good. We are all straight and alive and kicking. So I'm in 5th. But here comes Major like a missile. And he's going to get around this for 5th. And then here comes TG. Welcome TG to the party, ladies and gentlemen. He's been... You want to talk about hard luck Harry? He's been terrible luck TG. As he was in trouble all race long. He's up in this party. And then these nuts from out of nowhere just decides to show up. And I know I'm slow. So this is what I kind of expected. I'm in 7th, fighting for 8th. And the key is I'm going to try to protect for everything I have. I'm going to follow that number 19. Because he's been caught up in both wrecks. Finished outside the top 10 in both stages. And he is a pretty fast piece. So if I can just go with him, we'll be fine. But as you see at the bottom of the screen, we have another problem. And it's the temp. Which was one of the last things I thought about at 1.5 miles. Is your temp going up too high? And now I'm thinking, is this thing gonna blow up and am I just gonna have to choke it? Or is this thing gonna choke itself to death? For anyone who doesn't know the specifics of oil temp, if your oil temp is too high, you start to lose top speed, and it pretty much there's too much air going into there's not enough air going into the engine. It's pretty much what it is. And it's getting too hot. And it'll basically, like I said, you'll lose top speed, you'll lose acceleration, and eventually you'll just give. And you'll go up in a big pile of smoke as TG gets loose as all heck. And we'll 3-wide for 5th place. And then D's just all of a sudden decides to leave us. But we have passed TG. And I am now in P6. And you know, back to back races now. We've been in some adversity. At Watkins Glen, I kind of finessed it to get 2nd. Actually, I take that back. I definitely finessed Watkins Glen, having to take 3 less seconds of gas to get 2nd. I don't think I can do that at Kansas, or maybe, because as you can see, we're starting to have a distinct group of the top 1, 2, 3, and 4 is Greg. Almost just kills us. And then TG gets loose, but we're all good. We're all good. And so, but I was getting ready to say, we have a group of about the top 3, and then you have Sharp in 4th, who hit the fence and lost talent, and is now in the middle of the 3-car breakaway at the top, and then the 3 cars for 5th, 6th, and 7th. And so the goal is to try to get a top 5 at this point. It's probably not going to happen because, like I said, these guys are good and I'm not. So, but I try to have faith, but we'll see what happens. As you saw someone peel off a pit road, and we are closing in on the top 3, me and T-Bone and TG, who I think just got loose and hit the fence. How many times have I said hit the fence? It's probably been 50. And then I'm going to decide to come down pit road right here. And we get it all fine and dandy. And I decide to take the tape that I had added in stage 2 and take it back off, because I do not want the temp to rise. That would be the last thing I want. And I get a slow 16.2 second pit stop, which is just a big pile of doo-doo. And let's see what this is going to do. Sharp does beat us off pit road. And we're about the same margin as it was on the track. So no damage done here, but the big winner was D's Nuts in the 72 right behind us from out of nowhere. I mean, if you remember, he decided to hit the fence and lose connectivity between me, T-Bone, and TG. He has now come back up into this battle, and all of a sudden he is now a part of this group. And so we are now in 6th, but as soon as this, I think one person hasn't pitted, and we're going to be passing him right about now. So we are in 5th. So the goal is to not get passed by anyone. And I know they're good, and I'm not. If we can survive for a top 5, I'll be happy. And I'm getting immense pressure from the 72. But if there's one thing I do know, I know how to block, damn it. And I know how to make you slower than me. So I'm just going to I'm gonna have to use that to the nth degree, as his friend Hughes is behind these. And I'm just gonna have to walk him until he is not a definitive threat anymore. As we got 9 laps to go, and this is gonna feel like 90 laps to go as I hit the fence and lose talent, but it's gonna help me in a way because I'm gonna get this good run coming out, and I'm gonna clear him for now. And then he's going to settle for turn 3. As TG is right behind. So if anything happens, he will be there. As I pull a slight block on him. And I'm just going to pretty much take away his clean space as we make contact. But we keep it straight. I think as TG just decides to go for a pop in the fence. I think it was based off circumstances. Hunty hits the fence in front of us, comes to the battle between me and D's, as we got 7 laps to go, And, you know, I hit him with it. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a move I like to call the hezi, aka the hesitation. As you can see, D's nuts loses all of his momentum and gets loose, and that's pretty much going to be a GG. And you can thank the hezi, aka the hesitation. I just get on the brake, I let off the gas for a split second, let him come into my left reel, kill his momentum, and that's a GG. And y'all thought hesitations were only in 2K, and basketball games, and football games. You can do that in racing too. So there's your lesson for the day. If someone's behind you and is faster, pull the hezi on him and you'll be fine. So we got 5 laps to go. Me and Hunty all 4th and 5th for Team Randy, and it's gonna be and for me, I'm gonna be ecstatic with a 5th place finish. But like always, we've got a problem. We've got T-Bone behind us, and he is looking. Ever since Steve's nuts left us with the hezi, he's been trying to get around us as we got only 4 laps to go. And by the way, if you notice up there, Major Spy and Shorp are battling for the win. You can barely see it from my viewpoint, but as you can see, Shorp has caught that 78, and I'm trying to hold off T-Bone for a top 5, which for me would be ecstatic, because I shouldn't be up here with the piece I have, but it is what it is. As T-Bone decides to look under, I'm going to get the run off the corner, and we'll be fine. And up front, you'll see that Shorp has gotten around Major Spy for P2. And that's kind of big for me, because that will probably mean that I will have, or I might be the potential points leader again, as T-Bone is just giving me a run for my money, and Hunty is kind of, not really, but kinda has left us as I just popped the fence. As we come into the white flag, 1 lap to go, sponsored by Critter One Bank, hashtag cheap plug. And I lose the top 5, and everything's going bad, and then all of a sudden, you see Major Spy up there, as I hit the fence again. You see Major Spy up there, and he is out of gas, and he's got Hunty, and then Hunty comes down into me, and then here comes Chief, I'm out of nowhere, and he is going to get 5th, and I'm going to finish 6th. And you just got, what a last half a lap, ladies and gentlemen. As Shorport does win, congrats to him for his 2nd win of the year. But what about that? Major Spy, in 3 laps, goes from winning the race to finishing outside of the top 10. And when it's all said and done, he's going to finish 13th. Because he ran out of gas. Like, what? Oh, Lord, I don't know. And then, I know Major Spy got into Hunty's way and put Hunting in the wall coming into turn 3 because Hunty had nowhere to go because of momentum and brakes and whatnot. And then when Hunty finally got off of his bumper, he came straight into mine. It came into my right front and just killed me and all the momentum I had in turn 3. And the both of us just limped around home and allowed TG, who was 17th in both stages. Came back and got a top 5. And you want to talk about perseverance? I mean, he ought to get the damn trophy, because he could have just called it a GG, but no, he does what winners do, and he makes a bad situation a great situation, and he got a top 5 out of that, and you got to commend him for it. And at my expense, but I get a P6, and I'll take it every day of the week and twice on Sunday. For my worst track, get a P6, continue the top 10 streak that has been going on for a while. I'll take it, and we're going to go to Darlington next. That would be crazy. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, like it, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.